Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Jen. Thank you for being here. Today's video is going to be the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. I'm really excited to bring this video to you guys. I've been looking forward to purchasing this. I could not wait for it to get here. I am obsessed with the colors that are in this palette. Also, I've seen rumors floating around the internet, not rumors, but questions that people had, and I'm going to be addressing that in this video as well. There is a giveaway, so stay tuned to the end to find out how to enter. And with that being said, let's discuss some of the things surrounding this palette before we get into the swatches. So very quickly, this is the palette. It came in this box with really pretty photography, and this is what the palette looks like. It does have a rectangular mirror, but I'm going to flip that over so I don't blind you. And this is what the palette looks like. Also, we're going to get into some of the things that I've been reading online. So one of the things I read was, are there dupes to the stacks in this palette? And is the formula the same as the stacks? So I do have all the stacks, and I picked out the ones that could possibly be dupes, and we'll talk about the formula in a minute. Also, I've seen people comparing it to the Subculture palette, so we'll get into that and look and see if they do compare and if there's any similarities. And then other people had said, are there dupes for it, because $58 was quite a bit of a price for a palette, and so I'm going to bring you some dupes as well. Also, I enjoy the liquid lipsticks from Melt very, very much. As you guys know, I am a fan of Melt Cosmetics. However, that is not going to alter my opinion in this video whatsoever. And I do have 3 of the Melt lipsticks that I've been using. And I bought an extra one in one of my favorite shades for you guys as a giveaway prize. So we'll get into these as well. That pretty much completes everything I had to tell you guys. And now let's get into the fun part. Okay, up first, we're going to swatch all the shades in this palette. I'll do it fairly quickly so we can cover the rest of the stuff that I want to talk about. So the first shade up is Luna. Next shade, and we will talk about this at the end, is Gemini. Next, we have Lorelei. Polka Dot. This is Cupcake. Black is Bonnie, and it is quite black. Leo. Goals. This is Fire OG. And lastly, we have Mochi. So there you have the whole palette swatched. Okay, up next, I'm going to swatch these with a flat shader brush. A lot of you have asked me that, so I want to give that to you as well, and I'm going to be using my color switch in between. I'm using a flat shader brush from a company called Bodyography. I do enjoy this brush. This is the brush that I would use to apply this to my eye, so that's the brush I'm going to use. And I'm going to go through them rather quickly. Going to do the black last. Okay, some thoughts. They are a little bit powdery. There is some kick up, as you can see. I'm going to show you some dupes for these. This shade and this shade, I would definitely suggest applying wet for sure. This shade here I'd like to talk about first, because what I'm noticing about this one is it reminds me a lot of these textured shadows in the Huda palette, and it was what was wrong with her palette. I mean, there was a lot of things wrong with her palette, but this was one of the big concerns wrong with her palette, and I do have the same issue with this shade. It is very chunky. It feels like what they're considering a textured shadow. Pieces of it flake off. As you can see, hopefully you can see this. And that was a very light press, but if you can see, let's see if I can focus this. You can see it is quite chunky, and it comes off in chunks instead of laying it down nicely. To me, it's too much of a pain in the ass to work with in a palette, and I'll probably never reach for it ever. It's a beautiful color, but I have shades like this in my single pans that look just like this, and they're not a problem, so I'll never reach for that shade. Some of the shades in here are really nice, and some I didn't care for at all. So we'll get into that as I start duping them, so we can discuss them one by one. So now when I applied these on my eyes, I didn't particularly care for these as much as I do the stacks. There is definitely a different formula between them, and I prefer the stacks better. Some of the shades in here are absolutely beautiful, and what I'm thinking of actually doing is depotting it. Some of them were great, and some of them were really bad. And I hate saying that because I really do like this brand, and I'm normally very, very happy with everything that they come out with, but not this. We'll get into some of that a little bit more when we discuss the dupes that I found. But right now I'm going to show you some of the stacks, and these are some of the stacks that people questioned being the same shades. So in the palette, you have these browns here, and this is the rust color from the rust stack. As you can see, the three of them together. And as you can see, they are not the same at all. The next one that they compared was Rot, and again, you can already see that Rot is much darker. And the last one I have in the browns and the gold is this color here. This shade is called Rubbish. And I'll compare it to all of them so you can see that they are all in fact different. And then lastly, this one was compared. This is called Antique, and this doesn't come close to anything in here, but I will show it to you anyway. And it's just a plain peachy matte. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to get into some dupes for these. So for the first shade here, Luna, this is a really nice, smooth transition shade. And I did use this, and it went on beautifully. It blended beautifully. It laid down beautifully. So that is a good shade in this palette. I do have a dupe for it in the e.l.f. Mad for Matte eyeshadow palette. This is the one called Jewel Pop, and it would be this shade right here. And yes, it's a little bit deeper, which I actually prefer because that's more of a transition shade on me anyway, but this is as close as I could get to it with what I had in my collection. This one here is Gemini, and this is the one I told you about being so flaky. I do have several dupes and alternatives for this one. First, we have ColourPop Super Shock, and this is the shade Lightning Bug. And also, I have Sin City from Makeup Geek and MAC Amber Lights. This is Amber Lights, and this is Sin City. Next, we have Lorelei. And the dupe I have for that is ColourPop's Paper Tiger. So we have Polka Dot, and this is Makeup Geek Tan Lines. This is Tan Lines. And this is Polka Dot. Now, Cupcake, I don't have a single of, but they do sell it as a single. It happens to be in the Subculture palette, and it's the shade called Fudge. But you can get Fudge from Anastasia Beverly Hills in a single. I'm going to do the black last because it's the messiest, but next we have Leo, which is extremely unique. And this is one of the shades I used on my eye when I did a look. And this is Makeup Geek's Dirty Martini. And it's a little off, so I wanted to show you another one from Morphe called Pine, which is pretty spot on. And believe it or not, I find it way more pigmented. And it kills me to say that this one went on better, that a Morphe went on better than a Melt Shadow. Absolutely kills me. This one here is Goals. And the closest I could find to that was Makeup Geek's Pixie Dust. And you can see this one's a little more limey, and this is a little more on the olive tone. And Fire OG can also be used as a dupe with Pine as well. I found these two quite similar, and if you look at them next to each other, this shade is so bad. If you look at them next to each other, so you could see the difference in them. But this is one of the shades that I used on my lid, Leo, and I don't like it at all. It was really difficult to work with. It was patchy, it was all over the place, and I had a really hard time with it. To me, it's a dud. I won't even ever go back to it. Not when I could use the Morphe one and get the same effect. So, God, that hurts to say that. Okay, this is the last one in here. This is Mochi. I'm gonna go right here, and this is a really weird pistachio, yellow, green. I don't know what color this is. It's very odd. And I honestly have nothing like it in my collection. Nothing. And I have quite an extensive collection. I have nothing like it. The only thing I would compare it to would be the Paper Tiger, which you can see is more yellow, and this is more green. I forgot to do the black, so we're going to go back to that black. Now, they advertise this as the most vibrant black ever, and I want to show you it next to my favorite blacks. This really is one hell of a black. This is Makeup Geek Corrupt, and this is Colored Rain Black Moon. And this is Melt, so this one is Makeup Geek, and this one's Colored Rain. But yes, that will be depotted, and it's a really badass black. Okay, and lastly, I just want to talk quickly about the similarities with these two palettes. This one and this one could be a possible contender. This is ABH, this is the Melt, but this one is much brighter and lighter. Then the greens that were being compared was this one, and this is really a slatey teal blue. This really isn't a green, so I don't see the comparison there. Others were saying this one here, which is called Edge, and the yellow. This is Edge, and this is the yellow. They're not duped at all. They're not dupes at all. This one's yellow. This one has more orange. Possibly this green as well, which is more of a gray tone green, like slate. But they definitely don't dupe each other though. So I don't see the comparison between the two palettes at all. I did swatch them all out on my arms together, and no. So with that being said, let's get into these liquid lipsticks. I want to try and end on a positive note, and I love their liquid lipsticks. So I bought one extra for the giveaway, and these are my 3 favorite shades that I have from them. So this is the box that it comes in. I absolutely love this damn packaging. It's soft touch matte, and it's got the little lips all over it, and they're holographic, and I just love it. This shade is called Rebound. This one here is Maya. This one here is X, and this is the one in the giveaway, and I wear the crap out of this one, and that's why I wanted to give this one away. This is called X. And one of the reasons I love this one so much is because I can't describe it. I think it's so weird. It's a coral, it's a rose, it's a terracotta, it's a nude. I don't know what the hell you would describe this as, and I think that's why I like it so much, because I find it unique. And I have so many lipsticks, and I have nothing like this. This is in the giveaway. I hope one of you will enjoy it just as much as I do. Sorry to rain on anyone's parade. I wanted to end on a positive note, so I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. Leave the hashtag in the comments, hashtag MELTCOSMETICS or hashtag giveaway. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.